this attendees have asked for oral evidence. You mentioned the balance between being transparent versus potential pressures, and avoid criticism from your senior. I mean, the word it uses above, but I interpret it as probably someone who is senior to you. Do you have tips or examples of how, in practice, this tension can be navigated and ensure transparency?
Yeah, well, I think if you're a civil servant in a department or a minister who's, answering to a Secretary of State, then you're not going to turn up to give evidence without having any advice. I think if you're, so for an MP, a minister, if you're not discussing it with the Secretary of State, you will certainly be discussing it with their special advisors. So you will know where the pinch points are and what the Secretary of State might be worried about. And you will have an agreed, you're not just there answering off the top of your head. There is government and departmental policy, and you will be answering within those guidelines. And if you answer honestly and within those guidelines, then, it's not okay for anybody to try and pressure you not to give open answers. And ministers and senior civil servants, they know that. And I think there's a lot less of that goes on than people think. Everybody thinks everybody's being whipped into line. But in actual fact, nearly everybody is committed to open government. They're worried about controversy and they want to maintain the confidence of the committee and of the public, whilst not creating extra problems for their ministers. There's a balance to be struck, and most civil servants manage that really well. And for civil servants answering, they will have had time with their line manager, who might well be the permanent secretary. So they too will have had discussion about some of the more difficult points and how to handle them and still give the committee the appropriate and honest information. Very, very few civil servants would go into committee planning to dissemble or not be straight. They know the consequences of doing that are far greater than the ministers or someone saying, well, you dropped me in it there, didn't you? I'm sure this happens, but usually teams are supportive of each other. And in departments, ministerial teams meet at least once a week, and each minister with the different sets of civil servants who work to their portfolio would meet on a weekly, if not more often, basis. So the exchange of information and the understanding of where, what the direction of travel is, what where the problems are, how to address them, that understanding, you're not on your own. That understanding is there and developed. And you've just got to make sure you don't walk out of your department without having had those conversations.